Today's a new day.
Yeah, obviously.
Things change very quickly.
Obviously.
This is live there.
So
It
we're
says
live
the
on
stream is-
Facebook, yeah? Can I check the sound?
Will's head just fell off.
Of course it did.
Do 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 do. Ba-da. I can hear it. I can hear it from here. Hello. It's working. It's working.
What's that?
That along the bottom.
Yeah.
Facebook nonsense. It's Facebook nonsense. Facebook is adding hearts and thumbs up to the to the broadcast. I've absolutely no idea why it's doing that.
Great.
Do you remember how yesterday?
Yeah,
I asked,
that was my heart.
Do you remember how yesterday I asked Will not to stand in that doorway and do
Yeah.
silly things?
Yeah.
And how the day before yesterday I asked Will not to stand in that doorway and
But you
do
just
silly
said
things.
today is a new day.
You have not got the microphone in the right position.
Oh,
You've moved it. Don't. Okay, you're moving that.
Microphone's falling down.
Yeah, you're falling apart.
Good.
We know that you were juggling because you're right in front of my field of vision of my eyes. I can see absolutely everything you're doing. Now, Will, can you remember what I asked you to do yesterday?
Not stay in the doorway.
Yep, not stand in the doorway. I asked you to go into the front room, or do you need to pee?
No,
Why are you jiggling and wiggling and moving around that?
because I want, because I like to do this.
You like to? You're starting to remind me of one of my students, actually.
Which one?
Stu-
Well, one of them. Okay,
one
no
of
names.
them. No, which one? Yeah, I can't say.
Okay.
Right. He's doing exactly the same actions as one of my students does. Anyway, Will, I'm going to ask you again, third day, third evening, third time, not to stand in that doorway and do silly things because you drop
Please.
things and you bang the door and you leave the lights on.
What did I just do?
The light on in that room by accident without even remembering to turn it off.
Yes, many things happen by
Doing that.
many things happen by accident, Will. It's very true. They do. We have to get used to many things in life. So, thank you very much, Will. I really appreciate you giving us a little bit of space.
Okay, I'm going to turn this off. Okay?
Will, you're now doing exactly the thing that I asked you not to do one more
I
time.
was going to hold the one foot into my room.
Okay,
Do it.
super. Thank you very much, Will. Right.
Do it,
Ah.
man. Do it. Okay. Hi, Zara. Did you come to have a look at us?
Do you want to join us? Or are you just going to sit on the couch over there?
You're just going to sit there and listen without kicking the cables or the stand.
Yeah. What do you think, Zora? What would you like to do? Would you like to come and sit in the middle here? With all, with all these cables. It's kind of a bit crazy. Right. You know, you checked
Facebook.
Facebook.
Hmm.
Yeah. Did you check YouTube?
No, I'm
why didn't
awaiting
you check?
instructions. How do I do that? How do I get there?
How'd you get to YouTube?
Yes, do you have a link somewhere?
You
No, how do I go to the live place?
oh, right. Okay.
Right.
Oh, okay. That was me sitting waiting for you to do something, not realizing that
You have to do something
Yeah, I
to
have to
post
do
the
s-
link somewhere,
that I
right?
have to post the YouTube link somewhere
Yes.
because we're streaming in two places now. Okay. So apparently it's the same link all the time.
Okay.
Apparently it's exactly the same link. I just go to
So it's like one live place.
yeah, it is. And it always gives me a big white screen.
Of course.
Naturally, because
Naturally.
nothing on the internet really works. It's all just fantasy land.
Because you're big and white. Ha 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 ha.
Why do I just get the feeling this only happens to me?
No, it doesn't. I'm sure it happens to everybody.
The
who
other
tries
people
to
post
do
things on
anything.
Facebook and they just get a big white space with nothing there.
Yeah. So where are you putting the link?
On my Facebook page.
Okay, so I go on your Facebook page.
Yeah, if you're catching up with us online, we're still getting our technical stuff together, because we've got Facebook Live, we've got YouTube Live, and we're recording a podcast as well at the same time. So we're killing 3 birds with 1 stone, as they say.
I can't see it on your page.
And that's because I haven't pressed post yet. That's why you can't see it.
Oh,
I've pressed post now, so.
Right.
So that's great. Everywhere else, it shows up as a nice banner that I made. But when I post the YouTube Live link on my Facebook, it just gives me a white space of nothingness. And it's just really frustrating, because I like things to look. Sorry?
Sound's working.
It sounds working. Okay, that's cool. Why don't they have little bars on the screen to let you know what's going on the other side? Okay, so there we go. We're live. We're not
Sounds
doing a
like
test
we're both
today.
working.
We just decided to jump into streaming everything,
Yeah.
because I'm not sure why. Because it's getting complicated now, because we're doing so many streams with so many things.
Yes, and tests are boring anyhow.
What's going on over there?
Playing.
Yeah. Play.
Playing. Yes.
Play. Do you think they deliberately come and stand right next to us?
That's
and
what children do, darling. That's
do you think?
That's
But do you
just
think?
what kids do.
But do you think it's subconsciously done? That
Yes.
it's subconsciously done just to.
They feel more comfortable in the presence of adults.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's how it works. I mean, when we used to live in Rastoka and you know, I was trying to get away, kind of a little bit.
get away
You
from
know,
the kids.
they'd start playing in their room, and I would go to the kitchen to do stuff in the kitchen, and they would subconsciously follow me all the way to the kitchen, and then I would go down to the living room to tidy up the living room while they're playing in the kitchen, and they would just follow me everywhere. You know, they were playing together, and they probably weren't even realizing they were doing it, but they just follow you everywhere.
And do they get
no
louder
escape.
and louder and louder as you ignore them?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like, 'cause when you ask them to be a little bit quieter, do they just get louder and louder? What is that?
Don't know if they do.
Or is it something new that Will has developed?
No, I think they just forget. They're so engulfed in the play, in their own world, they forget about.
We are all engulfed in our own worlds in a little bit of a sense, aren't we?
Yes, we are. We are.
We are.
Only they still have problems with their self-control. They forget.
They have problems with it. I've got problems with my self-control as well. That's for sure. Right. Episode 19.
19. My
Episode
goodness.
We've hammered out 19 episodes.
Seriously.
And we've covered. That's like 19 hours.
Happy
plus
19th-versary.
What?
Happy 19th-versary.
Can you do that?
I can do anything.
Can you just say happy 19th episode?
I can.
Episode. You know what?
I can.
It bugs me the word episode.
Right. This is because it sounds like some kind of health problem.
Yeah, some sort of psychological disaster. Oh, and then then she had a bit of an episode.
He had a brief episode.
Yeah. And he never recovered.
Will's having a brief episode.
Will's had an episode for 3 days. 'Cause every single time that I've asked him not to do things right in front of me, he has decided to do them right in front of me.
If you looked out of that window, he'd probably climb out.
If I hid under the kitchen table, he would come crawling under the kitchen table and join me under the kitchen table.
Probably.
So,
Humbug.
Yeah. I think we wasted the first 3 or 4 minutes like setting up the technical stuff. I'm going to have to cut that out of the podcast in one way or another.
Can you do that?
Can I cut things out of the podcast?
Yeah.
I can lightly edit the podcast.
Ooh.
But it takes time, and time is the one thing that I don't have more of. So it already takes me all the time I have to turn the podcast to turn the audio into a video, because it's supposed to go up onto YouTube and then put it up on YouTube.
You were right there.
I'm just ranting to myself.
Good.
Oh,
Well, this is practical parenting.
Charlie's on the line. Hello, mate.
Hi.
Yeah, and his chocolate factory. Right. Yeah.
So this is the parenting thing.
Oh, we're supposed to talk about parenting.
This is the parenting thing. This is not the tech support thing, right? This is the parenting thing. So nobody's interested in what we've got set up everywhere, all around us.
I'm gonna have to get
computers
around
and the
that though, at
phones.
the beginning. I really will have to.
Yes.
I'm annoyed. Because things should start with a flourish, and we should sweep in with our ideas and.
That's what I was just trying
our
to do, and
energy.
you just destroyed it.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm really sorry.
So,
Let me take.
good morning, Graham G.
Maybe we should do this in the morning. We should get up at like 5 in the morning and do it. What do you think?
I do
What?
sometimes.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, but
Okay.
do the podcast. Like
Yeah,
really
sure, that
early
would be
in
a
the
good
morning.
idea. Only the only problem is that when you get up in the morning,
Da-na-na-na-na.
your vocabulary comes down to one word, which is
Grunt. Grunt.
yes,
You could just call me Grunt.
yes.
Yeah.
I would have to pour coffee into all your.
Wouldn't it be nice to sit
bodily
here with the
cavities.
sun coming up and a cup of coffee, and
That would be marvelous.
except we probably wouldn't have anything to talk about because we'd be like,
So, what did you dream about last night?
yeah. You kind of need to do it at the end of the day to have the experiences of the day, I think.
Yes. I didn't have absolutely no experiences today because.
Did you say I didn't have no experience?
Yes.
Did you really say that?
Yes, I know, double negative. Whatever. I
Grammatically
had
dangerous.
like no experiences today because I caught up and I started working and then I worked till lunchtime and then I cooked lunch and then I went shopping and then I came back and then I worked some more.
Oh, that which answers my next question, which is how was your day?
So my day was filled with work. I don't even know that I have kids today, right? Up until about this point when I start finding out that I have kids.
Something's going to crash in the background.
Because Sarah's walking around with a box on top of her head and they're just being little monkeys now.
Monkey time.
It's my fault though because
It's
I
like hammer time, but
didn't give them enough
with monkeys.
quality time during the day.
Ah, right. So now they're searching for quality time.
Yes.
That's a shame.
Yes, I know.
And we're giving it to these people on the internet instead of the kids. That's
I
bad
think-
parenting.
I think these people
Gonna have to sort out that
On
light
the
thing on
internet.
the YouTube.
are definitely going to
You're-
appreciate it a lot.
Your head is casting a giant shadow on the wall.
That's because I have a giant head.
Yeah, can you move that light up just a little bit so your head doesn't cast a giant shadow on the wall?
Like,
oh, I'm blinded by it.
How like how?
No, don't touch the back part. It'll explode.
I was trying
No,
to
just
hold
move
it
the
so
head up. Just move the. Yeah. It's like
Like
a
that?
snake. That's it. That's it.
I had to hold that black part so that it doesn't come off and fall.
That's what happened last time. It burned my arm. I got singed.
Yep.
Singed by the
Singe
light.
is still there. So what do
Well-
we have
well,
today?
Well, that's not gonna.
Can you please not touch anything?
You know the
around
rule we
here?
have about when we're recording that you don't touch any of the recording stuff. You're actually holding onto the stand and just about pulling it over there. So if you could not do that, that would be just excellent. Well, you're touching it again, even though I've asked you not to do it. Make some space.
So
mate.
what
Make
do
some
we have
space.
to talk about today? Do we have any interesting topics to
Yeah,
explore?
we do. I just I want to make an observation from the day today, which is
Okay.
why can't people follow the directions in the swimming pool of which way to swim? Because I was in the pool today.
Yeah.
And once again, people try to swim the opposite direction to like at 90 degrees to the way you're supposed to swim. They
Oh.
try to swim like that, thinking
Okay.
that's perfectly okay.
Okay.
And it's getting
I've noticed that sometimes
Really
they're just
annoying.
cutting it. Sometimes they decide, that swimming all the way to the end of the line and then turning and then kind of swimming along the wall to the steps is too long for some people, and they have to kind of cut it diagonally from like halfway, right?
they're lazy. They're Lazy.
It's
There
just
was this guy
crazy.
today trying to do the front crawl, and I swear he was going sideways instead of forwards. It was just,
Reminds me of somebody.
it was just really bizarre. Right.
Maybe he's some
And,
kind of crab-like movement.
What a job, lifeguard. I was thinking today when I came out of the pool. What a job. Just to
That
sit,
must be so boring.
just to
Can
sit
you
in a chair
imagine?
and stare at the water.
And you can't do anything,
And,
right?
and not look bored. You have to practice not looking bored.
I mean, if you're like,
Ah. Who would want to be a lifeguard? What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a lifeguard. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Will is now simulating swimming on the carpet over there.
If you're like checking security cameras or something similarly boring, right? At least you can do something while doing, like, at least you can, I don't know, read a book or something, right? When you're a lifeguard, you can't do any of
You
those
watch a
things.
film on your phone or something, couldn't you? But you can't do
Well, you
anything.
can't when you're in a, when you're a lifeguard.
You just look at the stare at the water in case anybody needs help, and that would take hours.
Yeah, exactly. All they do is just sit or walk around and stare at the water, and they have to poke people and tell them to get out of the baby pool.
Don't they have
and
whistles that they blow in the case that there's an emergency, like they run out of coffee or something?
they do that at the outdoor pools. Do you remember that lifeguard in Sliad? The old
The guy who was like
the old guy.
he was
He was like 80.
patrolling the water constantly, and any time anybody did the slightest thing that was wrong,
He would blow his whistle. He loved his job.
he was great at his job. I
He
love
was
people
so
like that.
proud of it as well.
Yeah, but he did his job so well.
I know.
Like most people wouldn't care about it, but he really cared about everything. And people would complain about, oh, the water's the wrong temperature. You know, people used to complain.
And he knew everything. He knew everything. He was like, "Oh, this is the composition of the water, and it's good for this and that." And he was like, "I've been working here as a lifeguard for the last 50 years." And he was like older than 70, wasn't he? He was really old.
That way.
But he was so proud of his job, and he
He was
just
very
loved
tall,
it.
if I remember
And
correctly.
thin, yeah.
Tall and thin. It was a classic lifeguard.
Oh, he was great.
He's probably dead now.
No, still
He's probably
there.
he's
Still there,
Still
patrolling the
sitting there.
waters.
The spa that hadn't changed for 500 years.
Yes, I know, but they're so cool. We should go there sometime.
We should.
Sit on a train and just take a trip.
We should. Right. So I've got topics. I've arranged my notes in neat boxes today.
You do that.
Well, it doesn't matter how I organize them. I'm never satisfied. I never find a way that works. I'm still, oh, you do it like this, or use this method, or put the notes like this, or boxes, or circles, or triangles, or fold the piece of paper in a special way, and nothing seems to work for me. Absolutely nothing. I've tried everything.
We've been watching the Bedknobs and Broomsticks the other day, and the guy, what was his name? The wizard.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo. So
No, it was the
something else. God.
that's Cinderella.
Oh,
Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
same actress though, no?
What?
Angela Lansbury, no?
But Angela Lansbury, it's not in Cinderella. Cinderella's a cartoon.
Did she do a voice
A
in the
Disney
songs?
cartoon.
Oh, I was just talking rubbish.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, so what's his name? There was the Dr. Emilius Brown, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
And he was looking for a spell. And he's kind of going through the papers, and he said, "Can't women?" Sorry, darling. Oh, okay. And he said, "Can't women ever learn to file things?" And it just remembered me of you.
You're reminded you of
Yes.
me.
It reminded me of you. Yes,
Yeah, there's.
because you're hyper organized.
Oh, I'm hyper something, but it's not actually organized because I keep having to reorganize the organization, which means it wasn't really organized in the first place. So I don't know. Maybe there's. Isn't it, what's the term for when? It's some kind of psychological disorder, isn't it?
Well, obsessive compulsive.
Oh, that's it. OCD. That's me. Get down with OCD. Yeah.
That's me.
It is. It is. Talking about OCD.
Yeah.
Did you tell me you've got articles,
CD.
or are we good?
No, I don't have anything
You
today.
don't have anything.
No.
You just
You always have a
just
lot
along
of
for
stuff.
the ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You always have a lot.
Are you
of
just
things to
like
talk about, so.
leaning on the fact that I'm going to come up with stuff?
Well, I know you are. I had things yesterday, and yesterday you were like, "I have nothing," but you did have something.
Yeah, that wasn't completely truthful when I said that I have nothing.
Well.
What I meant was I have nothing as important as what you have prepared.
Okay.
It was
Well, I
an
haven't
incomplete
prepared much
statement.
today, but I'm here to offer my insight.
Okay. Guys, can you not fight over the
Guys, can you
blanket?
fight in your room?
Well, I think your sister's going to need some help there. I think she wants to be rolled up in the blanket. Do you think you can help
Like a
her?
sausage.
I want to be rolled up in the blanket as well.
Well,
Well,
can you
I
help
want
her?
to be rolled up in the blanket as well, but it's not
I
possible
want to be
right
fast asleep
now.
in bed, mate, but that's not going to happen for a while. This going to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning has to stop. Anyway, right.
We're
Right.
not here to talk about our family habits. Okay.
What are we?
Guys!
Real life situations, real life parenting. Okay, here we go. We've got some articles from the news today. Right, let's go through this. I feel better when you can't see what I'm reading, because then it'll
Okay.
be a bit of a surprise that.
Okay.
Um,
I can't see anyhow because I'm not wearing my glasses.
I'm over here.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Scientific article. Scientific analysis reveals that schools are making children mentally ill.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Right.
Of course
Okay.
they are.
They're getting. Guys, can you quieten down just a little bit over there? Because you're louder than me. And
I'm
that's,
going to tidy them up. Is that
What?
okay? I'm going to tidy them up.
tidy them up.
Yes.
Tidy the kids up.
Yes.
How do you tidy your kids up?
Can you give me 1 minute, yeah?
What are you going to do? I'm curious. No, can you do a parenting thing and actually explain?
I'll tell you.
What? You won't be able to get out because we're trapped in here with computers and lights and cameras. Oh, boom. Boom. Right. I look fat in this camera. How bizarre. How bizarre. Right, if you've got any parenting questions, you can write them in the chat. If you're joining us on YouTube, that's great, but I can't see the YouTube chat because I've just jumped off to another screen here. So feel free to write your parenting questions into the YouTube live dashboard chat. Apparently there is one person online right now. Okay, so that's cool. Yes, there is a lag on the tube. So there we go. Right, back to life, back to reality. Naturalnews.com have a really good daily newsletter about health. I recommend that you subscribe to it. If you are subscribed, give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to it, then there's something, it's something you need to check out, because health is wealth. According to this article, I was going to surprise Yanka with it, but she's gone off to put the kids to bed. So it's just between me and you until she comes back, right? Educators in Britain are becoming increasingly alarmed about the prevalence of school programs entitled Lessons in Well-Being, which have been rolled out under the guise of helping children feel less stressed. Helping children feel less stressed, right? This is according to the Daily Mail, British newspaper. At first glance, the attempting to eliminate any jitters about test taking seems a little bit foolish. Well, yeah, this isn't, part of the system designed to create some level of stress in order to motivate, is that the right word? To push students forward in the right direction. Anyway. Welcome back. No, you're not coming back now. You are coming back? You're not please come back and I can't do an article by myself because the whole point is to discuss it with you, and you've run off.
Like there's
still a crisis going on, so I'm not sure.
Crisis. Of course there's a crisis. There's 3 of them. They're called the kids.
I'm not sure I've solved the situation.
Okay, what did you do?
Well, I took them to the room and I talked to them and I explained to them what we're doing. And I explained to them that even though they think it's funny when they come and make funny faces, that it's actually not funny.
Okay.
Right. I just told them what's going on. That's it. You know, I explained to them that we're working and we would appreciate it if they could play there rather than here for a while.
I noticed that only 2 of them were here. Where's the third one?
The third one's there.
Little
She's
Jazz?
just lying.
She's lying.
She's playing.
She's playing. Okay,
playing.
so she's chilling out.
Yeah, she's chilling out.
She knows. She gets it. She understands.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So what are we talking about? Sorry for my brief absence.
I'll have to repeat myself again. Okay. Educators in Britain are becoming increasingly alarmed about the prevalence of school programs entitled Lessons in Wellbeing. Now, what's wrong with having a program entitled Lessons in Wellbeing? Well, these lessons are designed to help children feel less stressed. There are currently 31 schools with wellbeing programs in one single region in England. In the United States, the number is far greater. This is in accordance with mental health testing, courtesy of Barack Obama's 2013 executive action entitled "Time to Do Something About Gun Violence."
Right.
What's that doing in British schools? You can't even have a knife and walk down the street.
You can't
in
even have a
Britain.
plastic knife. Well, okay, maybe plastic knife, yes, but
You can't even go out into the countryside and have a
spoon.
barbecue and a fire and do things like that, because you can't have an open fire in the countryside in Britain because it's against the law. You need special
just
permission
sad.
for it.
It's just sad, as if Britain was under the risk of forest fires, right? Like it has
There are
almost
no
no
trees.
forests, and it's always raining. So
It's the one single, and it's surrounded by water. Right?
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. So
it's the one single country where I don't think there's ever been one single forest fire recorded in British history. So there you go. Anyway, there's an interview with a psychiatrist who explains that it's really not a good idea to give strong pharmaceutical
drugs
to children because of the harmful effects.
Thank heavens.
And the lack of long-term studies, basically.
Oh, but it's so much easier to calm them down that way, right? Because it's so much easier than actually talking to them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I could have just freaking given them a Prozac or whatever, you know. Well,
it's you're diagnosing children as children, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
that's.
We all know you don't get rid of your problem by popping a pill and pretending everything's working okay. Right?
To use the words of the psychiatrist, it's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea. Anyway,
it's really not a good idea.
Anyway, there's an interview, and I will post, if anyone's interested, I'll post a link under the video on Facebook.
I think it's very interesting, but it's kind of sad that we have that articles like this actually have to exist, right?
It's sad that the place where you send your children to be educated is the place where they suffer the most anxiety.
Yes. But it's also logical.
I guess yes, in a sense. Anyway, next article. Remind me to check out some quotes on Facebook later, if we've got time. Anyway, the next article from the news was "Addiction to technology is creating digital slaves who can't think for themselves." And the evidence, it's all about kids using too much technology.
Yeah.
We've all got experience with that, and so the Googles and other search engines record your searches.
Yeah.
So they've got the top 10 how-to searches that are typed into Google.
Okay.
Yeah. So people going onto Google and wanting to know
How to.
how to do something. Right, the top 10.
Top 10 how to is gone, then that's going to be fun.
Okay.
Or scary.
Okay.
Or both.
Okay, the top 10 most searched are number 10, how to lose weight.
Okay. That's okay. That's kind of...
Yeah,
Okay.
but I was just like, eat less, right? I mean, that's not complicated, is it? Eat less, exercise more, just take care of yourself, right? I mean, you don't need to, okay. I mean, something's missing if your parents haven't taught you that, right? If you have to go to Google to get that kind of information. It's like Google
Well, a
has
lot of
become-
people's parents don't know how to lose weight, okay? If you come from a family that's obese, you probably didn't pick up those skills yourself.
Yeah, well, as if Google's going to help you with that. Anyway, number 9, how to make French toast.
That's number 9. How to make French toast.
Yeah, how to make French toast, because that's really complicated.
Do you think I could give lessons on French toast?
On,
Do you
like,
think I could
do,
make
like, you could actually
webinars?
be on French toast.
Do you
Like, get a big piece of toast and get on it and then give lessons.
Do you think it would like a French toast webinar? That would
It
be.
would probably be huge because the society is now so dumbed down that people would rave over
And
it,
French toast rules.
especially if you did it topless, right? Okay, next.
You have no idea.
No idea.
What's next?
How to write a cover letter.
Okay. That's a logical how to though, because
but,
it
how
does
can
have.
you get through school without being able to write a cover letter?
It
School
has to
has
be-
seriously failed in its objective.
Well,
there.
maybe it's students who are googling it, because they got homework to write a cover letter.
Oh, that's possible. Okay.
Mhm.
Ah, okay. Okay. Number 7. How to make pancakes.
That's easy. You
Okay,
could do the
pancakes.
We could do a webinar. I could do the French toast, and you could do the pancakes.
We could do that.
That would be super entertaining. You'd be flipping the pancakes, and I'd be flipping the French toast. Then let's see who can flip
And the
higher.
people on the net would be flipping us, right? So,
Probably.
there you go. Well, we could do a session in the kitchen. We've done a couple. We've done cooking with the kids. Videos are on the Facebook page, and you did the making shoes one, which was super
fun.
popular. Last time I checked it out, there were 5,000 views on it.
Really?
5,000 views on you making kids' shoes in
Really?
the kitchen.
Those shoes are extremely comfortable as well. I just love them. It's a shame that it's not warm enough to wear them anymore.
It's not really practical at this time of year. Anyway,
Yeah. We have to
is it going
move
to snow?
Africa.
When will it snow? Sorry, who am I?
Zora.
Okay, there we go. 6. How to make money. And I guess they don't mean
Work.
like print it.
Print
right.
them.
Um,
Yeah.
Okay, how to make money. 5. How to draw. Oh, that's kind of interesting one, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
who would have thought that number 5 would be how to draw?
That's actually very encouraging,
It is.
because more people want to know how to draw
Well, it
than,
is if it's
than
like
how to
if
make
it's-
money.
If it's like a picture, and it's not like how to
Draw a gun.
draw a gun.
No,
right?
no,
It's different,
obviously.
right.
That kind of gives me hope for humanity.
Okay.
Go on.
Right. Well, I've reached a bit of a problem
Yeah?
because I slightly altered one of them.
What do you mean you slightly altered one? Like, you can't alter something that you find.
Okay. Well, number 10
Yeah.
read. I said it was how to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to simplify it.
Yeah.
It's actually how to lose belly fat,
Okay.
which is how to lose weight, but much
No,
more.
it's not. It's not the same thing, because
Yeah,
I don't have a
you're right,
problem with
you're
any
right,
of my
actually.
body parts,
Right, I shouldn't-
except
I
for
shouldn't
the
have done
belly, right? I would like to know how to lose belly fat, but not necessarily anything else.
It's losing, isn't it? Losing fat from a specific part of your body.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not really losing weight overall, but just
No.
fat.
Mhm.
How to lose belly fat.
Mhm.
Doesn't that relate to the article, your article that you wrote?
Which one?
The one that I proofread today.
Today.
What was it called?
Oh yeah, the
I read it. Can't
it
remember.
was
What's the
called For the Underachieving Mother, for the Underachieving Mum.
The underachieving
Yes.
mum, and body image was
Yes,
part of
body
that.
image was part of it. Yes,
Okay, so how to lose belly
belly
fat.
fat.
Do you think that's
So-
women or men that are googling that?
I think both.
Okay, so I correct my mistake.
Okay.
I said that 10 was lose weight. It's actually belly fat
And
because 4
4. So.
is lose weight.
Okay, how to lose weight.
How to
Number
lose
4.
weight.
Okay.
Right. 3
Yeah.
is how to get pregnant.
Right. It's like, the bees fly to the flower and pollinate it, and then
Yeah, it would only make sense if the average age of the Googler was like 7. Right. But anyway.
Okay.
2.
Well, actually not, because as the age
Not.
Not of the mothers goes up, the average age of a mother goes up in the developed countries, as it does.
Excuse me? Sorry, can you repeat that?
Mothers.
Hello?
The average age of when women have babies
Yes.
is getting higher. 10 years ago or 20 years ago,
Oh, okay.
it would be 22
Okay, women
year
are having
olds.
children older.
Yes.
Like instead of having
And
like
now
eight, 18
you're
to
talking about like
22,
30, okay?
Okay, then they're having like kids 35 to 40.
Yeah, and
right.
then they have problems with conception, and they look for tips and tricks on how to get pregnant.
Too fucking late, dear. No, too late. Sorry. What did I?
So it is logical, kind of. Well, I wouldn't Google it. I'd probably, if I had a problem, I'd probably go and see a specialist, right?
You mean Google's not a specialist? Oh my god.
Well, next.
Got
Number
a hair
2.
hanging off the end of my microphone.
Number 2.
It's not mine.
Number 2. It's not yours. It's chest. It's your tall hair.
What?
No.
Give it back. I'll use it to floss. Right. Number 2 is how to kiss.
Okay.
Kiss.
Try
How
to use
kiss.
mouth on mouth.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And number 1.
I wonder how you practice that. Number 1 is how to tie a tie.
No.
Seriously. Like,
How
here's the
to-
list. Here's the list there.
How to tie a tie?
How to tie a tie. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, it means they're dressing up to go out, doesn't it? I mean, I guess that's something which is positive.
That's cool.
Hmm.
That was fun. I imagine you could do like a 10-day email course with videos on each one of those. And whoever does that email course will be ready for the world.
I don't think that's going to work for some reason. I don't know. There is also, according to the article, some boring, grown-up, mandatory stuff that people ask Google to help them with. Questions include how to write a check, how to start a business, how to write a letter, how to save money rather than spend money,
Obviously, you don't need to ask anybody about how to spend money.
how to get a passport, how to get free housing and money to live on, move to Britain. Oh, sorry. Okay.
It's getting boring.
Oh, sorry. How to change your name as well, apparently.
Yeah?
How to change your name.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Get married.
There are a few more. How to make a paper airplane.
Okay.
How to solve a Rubik's Cube. Can you do that?
No.
No.
I can do
I
2
bet Will
layers.
could do that.
I could
He's
do
kinda
2
got that
layers,
money.
but
2 sides.
Couldn't do
It doesn't have layers. It has
it
sides.
has layers.
It has sides.
It has layers.
The Rubik's Cube has sides.
Yes, but it has layers as
Will, can you go back to your room, please,
It has
instead of
3
dancing
layers.
around in front of the door, unless you've got a question.
You don't do it side by side. You do it layer by layer. You do one side.
What?
And then you do the layer underneath.
You mean
you've
layer
got,
underneath.
like-
It's only good. It doesn't have an underneath.
Okay,
does it?
imagine the cube as a square of 9 cubes, right?
Okay, that's one side.
Yes.
Right.
And then it's got another one on top and another one on top, right? if you imagine the cube as 3 layers of
I hope somebody out
3
there
times
understands
3.
what you're talking about.
You
I don't get this at all.
Did you ever try to solve a Rubik's Cube?
Many times, and I was never successful. I could get
Because
one
you-
side
Because you didn't do it by layers.
because I didn't do it. I didn't use the method.
You can't do it by sides. You can't do one side and then another side, right? You do one side,
Obviously, there's a system, and I don't know the
yeah,
system.
and then you need to do the second row of things around the cube, and then you do the last side at the
Okay.
bottom.
There's a duck on the couch now. We've been joined by a duck. We've been joined by a duck that is crushing a bear.
Yes, William?
Stranglehold there.
What do you need?
Will, can we help you with something?
Jesse finished the whole tracing alphabet on her tablet, and it's starting to get a little boring after watching her trace the whole alphabet.
Well, nobody's forcing you to watch her do anything, darling.
Yes.
You can go and play.
You've got a room full of things that you can use and play and do. And if you don't want to do any of those, you can just lie in your bed and chill.
Or read a book.
Read a book. Why don't you take the visual dictionary? Isn't it on the shelf there? The visual dictionary?
Okay, I don't know.
Isn't the visual dictionary? Or take everything you need to know about everything. It's on the shelf there. Why don't you take one of those two big? Well, when I come here, walk towards me. Thank you very much. The last, it's on the shelf there, isn't it? Visual dictionary, big one. There's two. There's two on that shelf, right there on the bottom shelf. There's 2 visual dictionaries there.
Like a visual encyclopedia.
Yeah, why don't you take that? There's lots of cool stuff in there about rockets and space, and maybe you've been able to connect something with Star Wars. Is that the big one? That's the small one. Isn't there a bigger one? Bigger white one? On the left? I'm sure it's right there.
On the left?
Pointing my finger.
Left, well, left.
Left's the other way.
That's it.
Visual dictionary. Big book. Big white and red book there.
Oh, you found
It's like the biggest book on the shelf. Right.
Cool.
Okay, come over here with it for 1 second.
Okay.
No, over this way because there's
That's it?
cables there. Okay. This is what we're talking about, right? This is the visual dictionary, and it's cool because everything's annotated and it covers all the sections.
These are really nice
It's great,
pictures.
it's great for homeschool. We've got what are all the sections in
There's
here?
space, there's mammals, there's insects, there's fish, there's people,
Can't find the
anatomy,
contents page.
there's history,
Contents? No.
and I think that's it.
Space, planet Earth, atmosphere and oceans, prehistoric life, plants, animals, human body, ancient civilizations, countries of the world, architecture, technology, inventions, fact file, index. There you go, all the way through. It's a great book. Go and check it out. Check it out.
Go check it out, check it out. Check it
Check
out
it
with
out, check it
Dora
out.
as well.
Yeah.
Really heavy.
Good,
Yeah, don't drop it on
good.
anyone or anything. Can I reach my drink?
Yes, please.
Drink.
Yes, please.
Wait a sec.
Still quite heavy.
Ah,
Thank you.
right. Is the podcast still going? Because it's turned off over there. Even though I've set the system to not turn off, it just ignores me.
Yum.
Yum.
Yum. Sorry, I was
You've-
thirsty.
You've drunk most of it. Thanks. Oh.
Thanks. Thanks. It was good.
Think it'll be okay if I put it there? I'm not going to knock it over. am I?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Unless Jasmine
Right.
comes and has a drink.
Okay. Other how-to things that people Google. How to divide fractions. How to learn English. How to make a bow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they already know how to make the arrow. How to be happy. How to play poker. How to draw anime. How to play chess. How to tie a scarf. What? How to play guitar. How to tune a guitar. Oh my god, it took me years to learn to tune a guitar.
Really?
I don't have a musical ear. You might have noticed from.
I have. Slightly. That you get your musical ear from...
The neighbour's dog,
Yes,
probably.
probably. What's the point of this article?
the overuse of technology has meant that we've lost basic skills that we had before.
Ah, okay.
Right, that people
just
don't know
Google
how to
everything.
make an omelette or to fry an egg or
Tie a bow.
something like that. Yeah, basically.
Or kiss.
Or kiss. Yeah. Anyway, okay, moving on. How to measure bra size was one of those as well, surprisingly. Okay, I guess that's the way that it goes. Yeah.
I would like a bath.
A bath, yeah.
Can you
I
wait?
think that's a great idea.
Can you wait a little bit till we finish with Dad, and then I'll run you one.
I think that's a great idea to
Okay.
have a bath. It'd be a nice way to relax before going to bed, I think.
Yes. We
Super
can have a
cool.
bath, but we have to finish this first with Dad, okay? Can you go and play while we finish it?
Mommy, I don't want to play.
Then chill out.
Then you just have to relax for a little while. You know that learning to be comfortable with your own company is just one of those skills that we all need to develop.
It is.
So,
I think Zora is really good at that, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah, she's I think she's very comfortable with her own company. She very often does her own thing in a group of people, you know. She doesn't necessarily go with the flow. She's
you know, jam the mic disco.
Also, she told me today something, Zora, didn't you? She told me today that she doesn't like the name Zora.
Excuse me? Does that stop me in my tracks? What?
She told me that she doesn't like the name Zora, and she
What's
would
wrong
prefer
with-
if we called her Scotia.
Oh, I love that idea. I think that's a fantastic idea.
She thinks that Scotia sounds nicer. She
It
said
did.
that when she was born and we gave her the name Zora, it's a boy name. That we chose a boy name for her.
She would. So you'd like to be called Scotia? I think that's great. I'll be very happy to call you Scotia. If it makes you happy, then it will make me happy, darling. Okay,
We can give it a go. We can try it.
Scotia. It'll take me a little while to
Get
train
used to it,
train my
yes.
brain. To train my brain. So
Brain train.
brain train. Yes. Chugga-chug. Okay, super. So we've got Jazzy, Scotia. I like that.
And Will.
And Will.
You know what's funny?
When an elephant falls off a tall building.
Yes.
Oh,
But also, the funny thing is that William only has one name, Jasmine only has one name, and Zora is the only one that has two names, and she's also the only one who chose not to use the first name but the second name. You know?
Is that funny?
It's like a
I don't think
it's like
that's
a
actually
fate,
funny.
right?
Fate.
Yeah.
I think that making a positive choice like that about your name is good. At that
I
age.
think so too.
Yes. That's cool. Scotia.
Will you get used to it?
Are you gonna? If you hear the word Zora now, you're gonna think, well, it's you, aren't you? Scotia. I like that. Do you know who Scotia was? Scotia was an Egyptian princess. It's a little bit of lost history, so people don't know the history of Scotland. It's lost in the sands and the mists of time. But Scotia was an Egyptian princess at the time of, as Moses was leading the his people. my biblical terminology is going to be all over the place. I'll try to avoid saying the wrong thing. As Moses was leading his people out of Egypt, the leader of the Pharaoh's army was married to the Pharaoh's daughter.
Okay.
And her name was Scotia.
Oh.
And that's and the story goes that
What did it mean?
Well,
Did it
the original
mean anything?
meaning no one's sure of, but the kings of Ireland sent their princes to Egypt for their education
Uh-huh.
way back when.
Okay.
And one of the princes of Ireland married one of the princesses.
Which probably wasn't Ireland back then, right? Was probably called something else?
Celtia, or I don't know, whatever whatever it was a Celtic land. Anyway, the wedding present was what we call Scotland. That was the wedding present. The Irish kings gave that area of land as a wedding present to the Egyptian kings.
Oh, okay. For
land, war for territory.
For the hand of the daughter.
Upside down. Sorry?
For the hand of his daughter.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
They expanded their lands and their power and so on. And even way back then, 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, people were searching for the best education for their children, how to control society, and at that time, the highest form of education that we knew about in this part of the world was in Egypt. And so the kings sent their princes to Egypt for a period of time, not sure how long, a couple of years I imagine, to get their education.
Okay.
You know, there's stories about, it would be, we're talking about like 500 years before Jesus, right? And the stories that when Jesus disappeared between the ages of, what was it, 3 to 5, 5 to 12, nobody knew where he was. It suggested that he was taken to Egypt, and he was brought up there, and that's where he got some of his knowledge from.
Okay.
So, and it's interesting. I've watched hundreds of documentaries about Scottish history, and not one of them has mentioned the interesting history of the Scottish name. None of them.
Funny.
Because I think they don't want people to know, because once you start to go down that road, it opens lots of doors. It's just all the history books say, and then they called it Scotland, and without any reason why.
Okay. Well, maybe they feel like if they tell people that the name of their country comes from Egypt, that maybe they don't find it nationalist enough, or whatever.
Does it really matter now?
No.
I don't think it really matters much anymore. I mean, no one. People don't remember what they did last week, and why would they care about what happened? Pre-biblical times.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, I've got some quotes that I'd like to share. Moving on. Changing gears.
Okay, good.
Got some quotes that I'd like to share with you that I picked up on the net today.
Go on then.
The first quote is from Dayna Martin. Do you know who Dayna Martin is?
No idea.
Dayna Martin. She's the radical unschooling guru.
Okay.
Who has a family who've all been totally unschooled and are relatively successful with their lifestyle. She travels the world to educate people about education.
Okay.
Anyway, you can check all her stuff on the internet if guys out there don't know who she is. It's radical unschooling, and it's well worth diving into. Nice person. Anyway, children never need to be forced to learn anything. Instead, they need a life rich with resources and the world at their fingertips. They require loving parents to facilitate their interests, to help them expand and grow. With this support and presence, they are able to discover their true purpose. Freedom is education. Love is the foundation, and self-mastery is the goal.
Nice.
Nice, isn't it?
Nice.
Isn't it? You know what I like about it?
What?
Freedom is education.
Yes.
Rather than education is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're educated and then you become free. Freedom is education.
Yes.
I just like that play on words there.
Yes.
Scotia
yes,
wants to know how long this is going to be. Well, my princess, my little Egyptian princess, you're going to have to wait a little bit, because we're going to be here for another 15 to 20 minutes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, there we go. Next. The importance of the parent-child relationship is above everything else in parenting. If you work on that relationship over behavior, that will win in the end. You may not get the behavior that you want in the short term, but in the long term, it's that bond that keeps kids safe and emotionally healthy.
Yes, and I love that one as well. And I've seen that you have shared it on Facebook, and I have shared it too. Because it just says it all, doesn't it?
It does.
It's about the relationship with the parent at all times. At all times. If the relationship between the child and the parent is healthy, then the child will want to make the parent happy, right? Because if we love each other and we are not angry at each other constantly, and we don't feel like you don't understand me, then the child will try to make the parent happy, and the child will trust the parent, and the child will know that, okay, if this person tells me that what I'm doing is wrong, or that maybe I should reconsider it, or then they will trust that the parent is right, because they know that the parent wants what's best for them. It's not.
You can have more control. Sorry to jump in, but you can have more control over modifying your relationship, because you can control your reactions and responses, than you can trying to manipulate
somebody into behaving in a certain way. Yes, and it's absolutely not about how the kids are behaving at the moment, right? Because that's not why we are parenting. That's not why we're bringing them up, is it? I mean, what every single parent is trying to do is make sure that when they grow up, they're going to be a, wholesome person, able to take care of their own happiness.
I think one of the most important things is to not be afraid to try new things and to keep learning. As long as you keep learning, as long as you're prepared to research, to look for information, to ask people for help when you need it, I think you're going in the right direction. And you might not feel like you're going in the right direction, but hopefully you are.
I think forcing children to some kind of coercion is very short-sighted.
It is.
It's about making it easy for you in that moment, but in the long term, you're making it more difficult for everyone, including your child.
You don't want to sell tomorrow just so that you can have today, and then find that you don't have it tomorrow later on. You definitely don't want to do that. Moving on, children need love, most especially when they do not deserve it.
Yes, definitely.
It's so.
It's a cliche,
counterintuitively correct.
Yes.
Because when the children are acting up or breaking the rules or doing things they shouldn't be doing, there's a tendency to want to be like me and lose it sometimes.
Yes, but you always have to look behind the behavior, right? You shouldn't look at what they're doing. You should be looking at why they're doing it. And as soon as you can remove yourself from the situation and breathe, right, not lose it, and then look at why they're doing it, then you realize that what you said, the quote, is true, because children never act up because they are happy, right? They always do it because they're anxious or angry or probably both.
Well, it's very true what you said, that they need to look beyond the behavior. Or you need to look beyond the behavior as a parent.
Yes.
Definitely. It's whatever is happening now didn't start now.
Yes.
It started somewhere else, sometime else.
And what's up?
Can you wipe you?
She's finished pooping.
Right. Well, there goes my plan. There goes my plan. You don't be long. Come back soon. Try to remember how to walk properly. Avoid the plants. There you go. Off she goes. As we stumble and bumble forward. Right. Once again, can't do the quotes because I need a counterbalance here to share the information with. Remember, if you've got any questions about parenting, you can write them in the chat. Feel free to interact with us. We do enjoy that. We like to deal with things in real time as and when they happen. So you can do that in the Facebook, or you can do that on the YouTube page as well. You can leave questions and comments for us, and we will pick them up at a later date. You have to be extra careful with the cables because I made them. yesterday.
I remember.
And
I remember that. That was quite fun.
Bits and pieces.
Okay.
Of things all over the place. Right.
Yeah, I had an interesting interaction on the webs the other day.
Okay.
Or this lady was asking about how to stop yelling at children, right? She said that she had an experience. She was brought up in an environment where yelling was a, constant, basically. And
her parents weren't teachers by any chance, really.
Good point. And she herself found herself, yelling at her kids when she's lost it.
Okay.
And she wanted to stop doing that. But she said that she often had problems with, controlling her own behavior. So, as we do, because we're humans, right? So sometimes we lose control. And, my point is how to stop yelling. The best way, to do that is, first of all, you have to be mindful of when it's coming, right? Because you can feel that it's coming. You can feel the build-up of the tension. You may have some physical reactions in your body, right?
Yeah, I understand.
So you have to interact or intervene before you get there, right? So as soon as you realize that, okay, I'm going to lose it pretty soon, you have to intervene and you have to remove yourself from the situation. This is what I do, okay? I don't know if it works for everybody else, but this is what I do. You have to remove yourself from the situation, either mentally or physically. If you need to, you can go into a different room, right? And you have to look at what's happening objectively. I can't talk. Because people are disturbing.
Okay, two people need something.
What's up?
How can we help you?
I think Saturn once had a moon which was smashed into Saturn's rings.
Is this like a really important thing to tell me right now?
Do we really need to know this at this point?
Is it going to save somebody's life? Good. Can you tell me about it after we're finished?
I'm very interested in what you've learned, but right now I have another job to do.
Thank you.
Zora.
Can you please not knock down that chair that's got my computer on it, please? Thank you.
Thank you. You still waiting for your bath? You have to wait a few more minutes.
Mommy.
What's up?
Mommy.
Can we help you?
Yes, Scotia?
Question?
I'm really hungry.
Oh, it's food. You have to wait 10 minutes. It's only 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
You're not going to starve.
You're not going to die of hunger, especially with that huge, massive cake on top of the counter.
Yeah. And if you get hungry, you can just eat well.
You can just take a bite of the cake.
Yeah, there's a cake. There's an apple on the table through there.
There are bananas. Okay. Don't use the big knife. Just take a piece off with your fingers.
She can cut it, no?
I don't want her to. After the problems that we had before, I'd just rather if she didn't touch a knife when I'm not there.
Quite a few accidents in the kitchen recently.
Yes.
None serious, but...
Yes. With a peeler. If they can hurt themselves with a peeler, they can...
Wasn't there some problem with an orange or something? That she
yesterday she was trying to peel an orange and she had a problem because she used a cutlery knife.
A blunt one?
Yes.
Okay, to try to peel an orange.
Yes, there was no blood, there was no cut or anything, but she still had an accident.
I'd have a problem peeling an orange with a knife like that.
It's still here, and it's over here.
Yeah, it's still cut a little bit, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah,
Don't-
but it's healing.
Don't worry, it will
So
heal.
to finish what I was saying
good.
is, right? So after I realize that I'm going to lose it, I remove myself from the situation.
Okay.
Next step is I look at what's happening objectively, right?
Okay.
And that helps me realize that that my child is not trying to push my buttons or push the limits or whatever, but that something is happening there. I look at the why behind the behavior, right? And I try to realize if there's anything physical that's going on, if they're hungry or tired. I try to realize, I think about my whys, okay, why I'm reacting, why I'm losing it.
Okay. You're wise.
Yes.
You're
Put these
saying-
things
you're saying you're
together.
wise.
Put the whys together, and then proceed to the last step, which is okay. Give me a second.
Why did you take a blunt knife from the drawer?
Yes, take a blunt knife from the drawer, like
Take
a
a normal-
cutlery knife,
Yeah.
and you can use that.
You can cut it.
And you can then proceed. And then you can proceed to the last step, which is address the issue. That's actually the issue.
Okay.
Don't address
Yeah, that's good.
the behavior, but address what's behind the behavior. So don't say, Johnny, stop screaming, or I'm going to, smack your butt so that you have a reason to scream. But you say, okay, I see that you've had enough shopping, so let's take a break and have something to eat, and then we can continue after you.
It's just like talking to me. I can see. You see that you've had enough shopping, so maybe.
Yeah.
maybe we
Make a
should stop.
compromise. I mean, I need to do shopping. He's annoyed and tired and wants to have a break, so we can make a compromise and, kind of.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's important to respond and not react
Yes.
in that situation.
It's also important to acknowledge your own needs. I'm reacting. I'm
reacting.
I'm wanting to yell at my child because I have some kind of problem as well, right? I yell when I'm stressed, for example, or I don't have time, or I want to do something that I don't like and I want to do it quickly so that I have it over with. And
Is there not a plate on the table that you can use?
I might have tidied them up.
There must be one plate. What about the plate I can see on the side? Between you and me, there's a plate, darling.
On the bench between you and Daddy.
I can see a plate right next to you. Nope, that's the opposite direction. She's walking around the kitchen with the whole cake. That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one okay?
Super.
Wow, that's really big
She
piece
cut
of-
up like a half the
got
cake.
half the cake over there. Why not?
Oh well, she won't be hungry. There you go.
Exactly. Yes. It's interesting that you mentioned that method or that system, because I was thinking today about the difference between reacting and responding. And yes, darling, how can we help you?
I can't find any spoon. A tiny bit of honey on top of the cake. That sounds marvelous, darling.
Why don't you get the jar of honey, get a spoon, put the spoon into the honey, and put a little bit of honey on top
But
of
just
the
a
cake.
little bit, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Like this much.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
Not too much, because then you probably need to use the spoon to eat the cake as well, because it's going to be all sticky with the honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
A little bit on top.
Okay. That's cool.
Just like chocolate pudding.
Okay. She's so cute. That's how she do it.
How could I wish I could do that. Right.
I've heard somewhere that it's a biological survival thing. That
What,
children
being
are
cute?
cute. Yes, that little kids are cute because they need adults to take care of them. And their cuteness, makes the adults more likely to take care of them. If they were really ugly, then
God.
that it's a survival mechanism
aesthetically challenged.
for babies. The other, that
God.
Like, you know, like if a child becomes an orphan or something, that other adults are more likely to take care of the child because it's cute.
Well, yeah, I've got this whole issue of aesthetics, right? Which is that people are naturally attracted to things that they consider beautiful.
Yeah.
And part of beauty is aesthetics.
Yeah.
And a large part of aesthetics is symmetry.
Yeah.
And there've been lots of studies done on like the human face, and that the most beautiful faces are perfectly symmetrical.
There's nothing is perfectly symmetrical.
As perfectly symmetrical as possible,
Okay.
right? Right, the ideal, and it's natural, right? Because if you had one eye like on top of your head and the other eye on your chin, not only would it be impractical, because you'd always be sticking your finger in your eye or something. Not only would it be impractical, it wouldn't look aesthetically very nice.
Obviously not, but also you have to think about the fact that it works the other way around.
Just wait. Yeah, I'm also not saying that everything must be aesthetical and it's wrong to not be aesthetical. I just want to say I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we're all, you know, the door's a perfect rectangle, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know, that's funny because
you don't
Will
find
told
swimming
me
pools that are triangles, right?
Will told me the other day. You know, Will's got like sometimes he's got some weird things going on in his brain.
The art is
and
more functional than beautiful.
Yeah, but he told me the other day that, you know, it's like
I'm more functional than beautiful.
He was like, Mom, you know, sometimes, he said something funny. He was like, I like things that are symmetrical. He told me exactly that. He said, I like things that have symmetry, and sometimes I think in my brain about things that have symmetry, and you know, it's like.
Okay.
It's like strange. He's just telling me about
dreaming of
strange brain things going on, and he's like, I really like things that have symmetry.
I like things that have symmetry as well. We all do. Yeah. I mean, life needs it. Art needs it. Like the keys on the piano over there, like they have to all be the same size, right? I mean, it's just the way that it has to be.
But beauty is the funny thing because it works the other way around. It also works that if you love somebody, or you know, if you have friendly relationship with them, then you're more likely.
There's a big difference.
Then you are more likely to find them beautiful. You are. I mean, I can tell by myself. Okay.
Oh, because there is beauty which is not physical, for sure.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the physical beauty actually as well. I mean,
you're saying the ugly can be beautiful.
I'm saying that if I see a person that I don't have any relationship with, I am less likely to consider them beautiful than people that I have a friendly relationship with. I have friends that I would probably not normally consider as beautiful as I consider them because they're my friends.
You consider people you like more beautiful than people you don't like?
Well, you look at them, and because you like them, you I don't know.
That sounds like a kind of bias that a person has, rather than an objective judgment.
Well, beauty is not an objective judgment.
I thought I just explained the reason why many people find things beautiful. That's quite objective and scientific.
Symmetry is objective, yes, but beauty as such is relative because some people find Picasso's paintings beautiful and others don't, right?
I generally find most of his work to be schizophrenic. And I think most psychoanalysts would agree the same thing. He was a bit of a mean bastard most of his life as well. So.
Yes, but if you look at the painting, you can either like it aesthetically or not like it aesthetically. Right? There's a lot of people who do. It's
something wrong with people who
it's subjective,
like if you look at Guernica,
to a large extent.
Guernica has some aesthetic elements. If you look at les Demoiselles d'Avignon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't imagine anyone looking at that and saying, "Oh, that's beautiful." It's not. It's horrible. It's horrible.
You can't
it's
imagine that
misshapen.
because it's you. You can't imagine it because you have your own experience of the art piece.
It's
And
just
you
horrible.
cannot imagine
There's
anybody else
nothing
having other experiences because you can't imagine that because you didn't have those experiences that other people have. That's natural. Right?
Obviously, a bad experience created that picture because it's not one of those nice things. You know when you hear a piece of music and it's just noise and it's all distorted. And
Like what you were playing, but just before we started this, there on the computer, and I
Yes.
came here and I said it's extremely annoying.
Yeah, I think it's extremely annoying as well. It was the end of a song that I'd never heard before.
Okay.
And my life is not better having heard the end of the song, as it's just guitar feedback and noise and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
So yeah, I agree with you about that. I mean, but the point that I'm making is that 99% of people would agree that is not music,
Yes, probably.
unless you were in a club at 3 o'clock in the morning and had drunk half a bottle of absinthe.
Look,
and were
okay,
crawling under the table.
I think that
In which case, you're probably
beauty
in hell already.
is largely subjective. There are things that most people are going to agree on being beautiful, but
Like, why
there are
is this-
things that they will disagree.
the basis of physical beauty is symmetry. Now there are other kinds of beauty. There's the shapeless, formless inner beauty. There's the beauty of the heart and the soul and of the thought and the kindness and the activities and the actions. That's a different kind of beauty. It's probably a higher level of beauty.
I don't know, but I don't know. I find beauty in things that might not otherwise be considered beautiful if you talk about the symmetry thing, right?
Oh well, good. Look, we can argue all day about the fact there are differences. We all know there are differences, right?
Yes.
Right. You know, it's and not only are there differences, but the differences can change over time as well.
There's this artist, what's her name? I can't remember her name, but she's really popular in what she does, and she does
Tra-la-la.
photographies of. She did a very famous series of photographies of postpartum women with their babies, right? Women with their babies or older children, mothers in all shapes, right? And they would have all the, the saggy boobs and.
That's not the art that was on the cover of the Manic Street Preachers album.
I don't know.
It's
I don't
not like that. But those were paintings. It wasn't photography.
No, this was
Okay.
this was photography, and it was beautiful. And those bodies would be nowhere near what modern culture considers, to be beautiful.
What's happened, darling?
Okay,
later.
okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
did you put the honey
don't
on
have
it?
to finish it all.
Was it nice? You didn't get to taste the honey. Oh, that's a shame.
All right. There's a bit too much cake. Okay.
And
Didn't put enough honey on it. Okay.
well, there you.
Oh well.
Okay. Next time.
You going to chill out now?
We'll be finished in 5 minutes because I can't imagine Andrew would want to listen to us for any longer than that. And
No,
Um,
I don't think so.
we're
Anyway.
just debating about art, right?
So yeah, and it was really beautiful though. She was taking pictures of something that is generally considered
Do
ugly,
you know the Manic Street Preachers album?
but
The
it was
Holy
actually
Bible?
really beautiful. No,
No,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
no, something about-
But I
well,
have to show you this. I have to show you these photographs if you haven't seen them. They're quite famous and honestly really nice.
Okay. Keep talking.
There's I've said my point. Yeah.
When I type
And I think that
on this, the whole
I was
computer
actually
shakes.
asking about whether women
There's the cover. Manic Street Preacher's album,
Do
The Holy
this.
Bible.
Alright.
Careful you don't stand on the cables.
Well, I can't see because I don't have my glasses on, but
It's
right.
it's got those
Overweight woman from
it's
all
one,
angles.
it's one woman from 3 angles that's on
Uh-huh.
the cover.
Yeah.
And there was a great debate at the time about the nature of aesthetics, because the Manics were pushing things to the limit
Extreme,
in terms of their lyrics and their noise and the sound and the way that they constructed songs. In fact, the Holy Bible is probably the most profound piece of pop rock music of the last 100 years that's been created.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd recommend people to go and read the lyrics and be blown away by the incredible imagery that lies within the songs.
Again, literature art is all about resonating with an individual. The lyrics may resonate with you based on your personal experiences, and they may be completely pointless for other people based on their experiences or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Right?
I am an architect, you call me a butcher. I am a pioneer, you call me primitive. I am purity, you call me perverted. Those are the opening lines to one of the songs.
There you go.
It's powerful stuff. The whole album starts with a song called, I think it's a song called Yes, For Sale. Yeah, everything's for sale. For sale, same cunts, same dumb questions. Listen, honey, all virgins are liars.
Right.
See, I did.
For example, that doesn't do anything for me.
It's
It's just words.
It's the way it's all put together. It's the way it's all constructed.
Okay.
Of course, it's what can I say? It's just something that people have to discover. There we go. Okay, not everything that every artist does is great. That's the nature of art and the artist, right? It's experimentation.
Well, my point is that everything that it can be great for different people, you know.
Yeah, and also, I'll make the point again. In my experience, your points of view change as you grow.
Oh yeah.
That which you thought was great in the past may not seem so great now, and that's what you thought was terrible in the past. You may find sense in it now.
Yeah.
So it
Absolutely.
there are transitions that happen. I don't think it, and also there are examples of that which was fantastic and still is.
Yeah.
As well. So
Yeah.
there are lots of ways to look at it. But I'm going to round off here with a very quick how to respond instead of react. Yeah. Instead of saying, because that links back to what you were saying before, instead of being a parent saying, "Stop that right now," you could say, "You look upset. Can I help you with something?" Right? There's a switch the situation around. Don't detach yourself from your anger, your loss of control in the situation.
Empathy.
Yeah. If you two don't stop fighting, I'm turning this car around. Instead of saying that, say, I'm going to slow down and pull over, and when the car is quiet, we can continue. Right. Wish I could manage that one. Right.
Well, you can't because you don't have a car.
Well, not anymore. I've got a wheel. I've got a wheel. I've got a wheel.
I'd like to see you driving the 2 kids on the back seat of that wheel.
Everything is possible, but nothing is real. Remember what you were saying earlier today about what?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what you said?
Yes, there was a funny meme kind of thing on Facebook saying that being a parent means saying, how was that? How did it go? Being a parent is never again saying the word "what" without sounding annoyed.
which kind of made sense to me. Anyway, the next one is what.
Okay.
What? Which could be replaced with
Excuse me?
oops, let's get something to clean up the mess.
Oh, right. I never say what when people spill things. I just say... Oh,
You do the
dear.
people parenting thing. Not again.
I just say, right.
Life's not fair, you better get used to it.
Oh my god, that was my mom's favorite.
Yeah. An alternative would be, I can tell that you're upset about these decisions and this situation. There we go. Another, what's going on with you? So,
Another what?
the example that's given here is a bad result in something,
Okay.
negative result. Whereas you could say, it looks like you're struggling a little bit. Is there anything that I can do to help you there?
Okay.
There we go. That's enough.
Did it say
That's-
another?
I'm kind of improvising.
Yeah, I know,
with
but
what's-
it said
what's
what was
going
the
on.
second sentence after another
What?
another bad result.
Another. What's going on with you?
What's going on with you? I'm allergic to that.
You're allergic to that. It's a
I'm
horrible.
allergic.
phrase, isn't
What's going on with you, or what's wrong with you? It's just I can't
it?
stand
You
this.
telling me not to use that one again?
Yes.
Okay. Right. Oh, mental note logged in the cogs of my brain. That's enough whining, young lady. Could be replaced with. Could you use a calmer voice when asking me for something?
Yes, I did that. I said that a lot
Mm-hmm.
to Scotia.
It's Scotia now because she's decided to change her name.
It's like getting a artistic name or something.
Okay, last one. I've had it with you. Could be replaced with, I'm feeling really frustrated right now and I'm going to take a walk.
Wish I could
and
actually
calm
do
down.
that.
Yeah.
Wish you
And
could
so
just
remember to
say
come
that
back
to your
after the
2
walk.
years old toddler and just go for a walk. Like, bye.
Jazzy wouldn't have a problem with that. She'd be like, bye, see you later. She'd be quite happy. She'd find, she can open the fridge, she can get the juice out, she can get the water
exactly,
out. So, she wouldn't have a problem. Right. I've covered 2 of the boxes. Excellent.
Good job.
Two of the boxes
Two
from the
boxes.
8 boxes. So,
Arr.
2 to done. Why's your thing got holes in it? Why's your top got little holes in
So that
your
it can
sleeves?
stick to my hand.
That's weird.
It's
Okay.
a thumb hole.
Clothes now have thumb holes.
My clothes do.
What next?
I don't know, a pinky hole?
Our top is all kind of future weird. Anyway,
This top is all kind of weird, but it's cozy.
cozy. Okay. Right, so is this couch.
And it's
Anyway,
a top. It's
right.
a top.
Well,
Sorry,
we've covered a
I'm
lot of stuff.
yawning.
We started really slowly and we're completely all over the place. But I think we
And we've
picked up.
continued really slowly. It's fine.
No, I think we've.
We've been disturbed a lot by the kids. We should set up some kind of activity next time we do this for them.
Well, usually they're watching a film in the background, and they weren't watching one. But then this is real parenting, right?
Yeah.
This is not. See, I've checked out some of those other parenting podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And very much to me, I know it's not scripted conversations, but it's almost that, right?
Okay.
They've decided their themes and their topics and what they want to cover, and they're specifically sticking to things. And I want this to be more organic.
Okay.
I really want it to be more organic because I think that's what's real, and that's what, over the long term, will attract people to it. The reality of it, not the scripted nature of, okay, we're guiding towards this point, and we want to make this point, and we want to make this point, and we want to make this point. That really doesn't work for me. It turns me off after a while because it just seems formulaic. And I think a lot of people myself included, who've tried to produce things in the past, have wanted each point to be clear, and this for me is an organic process. So we'll talk about it.
Oh,
off-
I think
off mic
you
later.
know, I think structured and prepared presentations have their place
Mhm.
in certain situations, but not necessarily this situation. So,
Mhm.
you know, and
Yeah, of course.
you do something more.
It's got to look, if your time is limited and you've got a special message you want to get across.
Yes.
Yes, but
if you
this
want
is-
to communicate a lot of useful information to people, then it's a good idea to have it all, you know, prepared. Obviously.
yeah, I mean, in that situation, yes, but for me, practical parenting is also about the reality of parenting.
Yes. Well,
It's-
this is a different format. We're doing this regularly, and we want people to get to know us and to get to know what we're doing, and
We want
prac-
people to interact a little bit more.
parenting. Yes, parenting is connected to all these other areas in life, right? So
It's connected to everything.
it kind of comes together.
Even if you're not yourself a parent, you're still a child of a parent. So there's always a connection there somewhere. And while chaos completely breaks out in the background through there,
yeah,
we're
wanna
going
finish.
to
Going
we're
to
gonna
say
say
bye.
we're going to say bye on the Facebook stream first. So we'll catch you guys later. I can't reach the off button. There, we're going to say bye on
That
the
doesn't want to turn off.
we're going to say bye on the
podcast.
The podcast. Okay, we're going to finish the podcast here. So
Thank you for
everybody
listening.
catch you guys later on the podcast, and we are going to say
Thank you,
bye
people on YouTube, for
on
watching.
the YouTube channel. Keep in touch. Send us a message. Leave a few questions, and we'll be back really soon. Will,
Sorry.
can you not destroy the things in the background, please? And we'll get away from the light, otherwise you'll burn yourself.
It's really hot, darling.
Yeah, go and
Do-
sit down
on your
over there
face.
where you cannot destroy anything for the next 30 seconds till we finish, okay? Okay, so this is what you get. You get it, you get everything, right? The kitchen sink, the nuts and bolts, you get everything, right? Where's the off button? Down here somewhere. There we go. Bye-bye.